Welcome to another episode of Rainbow Popcorn. We are 2 out of 3 brothers talking about movie stuff. How are you, Brett?
I'm good, Lee. How are you?
Good, thank you. I didn't get us a drink.
Oh, that's all right. I've had a few.
Okay. All right. We
Not like... Anyway, I've had a big weekend.
had a few in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to have a break. This is the start of a new month.
Tis.
We're going to talk about things that are coming up this month or either in the not too distant future that we're looking forward to. The first thing, the gay social media is abuzz
No.
with
Oh, not that?
mid-century modern.
No. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about
With-
Parker Posey.
Golden Girls for Gays.
We
All
did-
the Gs.
We did watch the trailer.
Starring Nathan Lane, who we recently watched in The Birdcage.
Birdcage. Matt Bomer, which we've recently watched in my sex dreams. And some
And
other guy
lots of
I
other
don't think I know.
It's you got to be careful when you Google it because it generally comes up with the design principle
Architecture.
of
Yeah.
mid-century modern, but it's TV series and it says, I'm going to read this straight from IMDb. Following 3 best friends, gay men of a certain age, who decide to retire together to Palm Springs after an accidental death.
So, Matt Bomer and Nathan Lane aren't near the same age.
No, and
are
neither
they?
is Nathan Lee Graham, who
Okay.
is the third one and the
Yeah.
surviving one. I feel like from the trailer, he's
Someone
the
died.
Betty White
Oh, and Matt Bomer's the Blanche.
because he's hot. So
And Nathan
he's the
Lane's
slut. Well, he
Dorothy.
did pick up someone in the bar in an instant in the trailer. Nathan Lane, according to articles that I've read, is the Dorothy type character. But then we watched the trailer and he wasn't nearly sarcastic enough.
No,
He didn't put anyone down in that whole
he didn't call anyone a
Thing.
slut.
no. Which in 2025 you can do.
Yeah.
They did it in the 90s with Golden Girls and it
Yeah,
worked.
yeah.
I think
I think it looks average.
I do think it look average. I think we're in a time, and I've said it before because we've talked a lot about sitcoms, where the 4-camera live audience sitcom is not a thing at the moment.
Especially if it seems from the trailer that it's not a real audience.
Yes.
But it gives off the same vibes as Will and Grace Reboot, mainly because it's made by the same people that made Will and Grace.
And they're trying to make Golden Girls for gays.
And it doesn't look great.
It doesn't look great. Nathan Lane, I feel like, is just kind of playing a little bit of Starina.
Yeah.
I feel like his character's the drama queen.
Yep.
Matt Bomer is the slut. Nathan Lee Graham is
There.
the Dorothy.
I don't know. We'll
Not
see.
the Dorothy, the Rose.
Rose.
I don't know.
I think we'll see. We'll watch it.
Nathan Lane's mum is in it, Linda Lavin, who died last year. So she filmed the season and then she obviously thought it wasn't so great too and didn't want to be in season 2.
Oh, so she...
So she was like, that's it. If this is what my career's come to, then that'll do.
Okay.
That sounds
sad.
terrible.
Sounds really bad.
But
we'll
we'll watch
watch
it.
it, see how terrible it is.
Give it a few episodes and then see. That
And then Lee will
is-
give up on that and watch The Good Place again.
Yeah. That's coming out on... What's it coming out on? Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, great.
So that'll be something that the gays can watch soon. I think it's coming out very soon.
Great.
But a new trailer just dropped, so we watched that. You can see our reaction to that on the socials. We also watched the trailer for A Nice Indian Boy with the taxi driver from Deadpool and the other guy from Glee.
Jonathan Groff.
Jonathan Groff, yeah.
The other guy from Glee.
Well, I didn't want to say one name and then not one other name.
But if you were... So in the Jonathan Groff universe, if you're going by your principles of naming something that people don't know him from, you wouldn't say Glee.
Okay. It's the trainee paramedic from Abbott Elementary and the dad who survives from A Knock at the Cabin. All right?
Got it.
Also known as Karen Sony and Jonathan Groff.
Yeah.
It's coming out this month, apparently, but this is the first trailer that dropped. It did the festival circuit last year.
Yep.
And I didn't read at the end of the trailer what they all were, but there were a lot of little leafy round things
Palm
and names of
Springs.
festivals.
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest.
Some gay ones.
Sundance. and
Berlin. I don't
it
know.
actually looks
Just made that
good.
Great. It does look good.
Romcom, the socially awkward doctor meets the confident, attractive photographer,
Yes.
and then they start dating and they like each other. And then Jonathan Groff's character says he has Indian parents, so they can bond over that.
Yep.
But then there's the two levels of acceptance of probably I reckon from the trailer, it's we've come to terms with you being gay.
Yep.
I don't know about you dating
As
a
long
white
as you
boy.
marry an Indian boy.
Yeah,
A nice Indian boy.
a nice Indian boy,
Yep.
of which Jonathan Groff is not it.
Yep.
Although he tries to do some little singing and dancing on the street in the trailer, which looked interesting.
Yeah, I think it looks good. I'll go
Kaling.
see it. Mindy Kaling. So
Mindy Kaling's
she's good.
in charge of it.
Yep.
And she is very good. Jonathan Groff is very good. And, we've seen him in a lot of things.
It looks rom-com with a bit of serious, as because it's a rom-com, it has to, and then it'll have a happy ending where they get married in the end.
It's not a spoiler. They do break up.
Yep.
That's just part of what happens in rom-coms.
Yep.
It's another tick in the reasonably mainstream gay rom-com movies.
Uh-huh.
But I think this one will be good, and I think
Yeah.
that comes out this month. I'm not sure where. Release date of 4th of April in the US.
So September.
We don't have a release date in Australia yet, it seems.
Of course
not. But yeah,
We'll watch it when it does eventuate.
it's just done the Palm Springs International Film Festival in January, and we'll come out in the States on the 4th of April. So we'll watch it when it comes out. A nice Indian boy.
Cool.
One more that we probably won't be hanging out to watch is one called She's the He. And this is the story. The trailer, I can't even tell you anything about the trailer because it told us fuck all.
The trailer was terrible.
It's a 40-second trailer. It's a teaser, which shouldn't be called a trailer.
Yeah.
Two boys who are best friends in their last year of high school. Everybody at school assumes they're gay.
Mm-hmm.
But one of them wants to be able to ask their crush out on a date.
Yep.
They're like, it's the last week of school. Why don't you just ask her? And she's like, oh, everybody thinks we're gay. And then the PE teacher makes a joke about them being gay. So then one of them says, well, why don't I pretend to be a woman so she can see you dating a girl,
Yep.
and then that's fine. But the other one, who's obviously the dumb one, there's a dumb one and a smart one.
Of course.
And the dumb one says, great idea, let's both pretend to be women so I can talk to her
Yep.
as a woman.
Yep.
And a la a lot of comedies, lie to her for the whole movie, and then hopefully after all those lies she falls in love with me. That seems okay. That seems stereotypical and tropey.
It's done.
Done.
Yeah.
The kicker, and not in a good way, is that the one who first suggested dressing up as a woman, during them together dressing up as women, realizes that they are trans. Which opens up
I don't know
all
how
sorts
offensive
of
that sounds to me.
possibilities for niceness, but the way the trailer read, it sounds and feels offensive.
Yeah, it doesn't look great. It looks pretty shit, and I don't think I'm going to watch it. I'm definitely not going to go anywhere and pay for it.
I don't mind the concept, is that everybody thinks they're gay and they seem okay with that.
Yeah.
And the school isn't bullying them because they're gay, even though the PE teacher says when they get hit by a dodgeball, hey, don't throw balls at the gay kid. That's questionable.
Uh-huh.
The PE teacher also says, hey, I identify as hungover and you don't see me crying about it.
Yep.
Also offensive.
Yep.
The idea that in the process of helping my straight friend find love, I realize something about myself, and at the end, my straight friend and their new girlfriend are very happy for me.
Yep.
That's an okay story. But the trailer struck me as not going to be able to handle it very well.
It looks really bad.
So, on the one hand, we've got nice Indian boy,
Yeah, I
where
think
we're like, yay, these people who are known people in Hollywood are playing gay characters who fall in love and everybody's happy for them.
So we watched 3 trailers for things. One looks good, one looks average, and one looks bad.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So, yeah. I guess that's the whole gamut of queer stuff.
That's it. Well, that's, if we're trying to be a little bit more mainstream, that's the whole gamut of everything.
Yeah, okay.
This month there'll also be a shit straight sitcom that comes out, an offensive straight movie, and a good rom-com.
Yep.
Speaking of average sitcoms, I watched the first episode of St. Denis Medical,
Yep.
which I said the other episode I was going to try. It's a mockumentary, which I'm kind of over, and too much talking to camera.
Yeah.
Like there was like a full,
okay.
probably 3 or 4 minutes of the director of the hospital
You would be a mockumentary.
talking to the camera about it. And I'm like,
Is it funny?
no. There's some funny moments,
Okay.
but I don't need to watch another mockumentary.
Yeah, I think that ship has sailed, but people keep making them.
Networks keep making them.
Yeah.
The streaming services aren't making them. The streaming services are making one-camera sitcoms.
That's true, and they're not great either.
Some of them can be great. So, yeah, don't need to watch St. Denis Medical.
And
I'm
it's
going
on-
to finish
what's
Schitt's
it
Creek
on?
instead. 7+ here.
So there's ads.
There's ads.
No.
Yeah.
So I'd rather watch Abbott Elementary.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch Schitt's Creek until the new Abbott Elementary comes out,
Great.
because I'm up to date with that.
Cool.
On what's on Netflix anyway, not on what's on NBC in the States. Is it
Yeah.
NBC.
Yeah, I think so.
We also watched the trailer for Holland.
We did.
Starring
which is-
Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, which is not Nicole Kidman in Midsummer, but
No, could be.
similar things.
It's
It
Nicole
looks
Kidman
creepy.
in Don't Worry, Darling.
Okay.
Because it's giving a bit of Stepford Wives,
Yep,
which
yep.
is in Don't Worry, Darling,
Yep.
but then like something goes wrong. Ketchup is used as a symbol of blood in the trailer.
It very much looks like, oh, we're a happy family, but she's going to snap.
I am going to make a prediction. Matthew McFadden moved them there after he murdered someone. They're the little bits I put together from the trailer.
I thought he was having an affair. But then it
there
looked
was-
like she was going to have an affair.
With Gal Garcia Bernal. But then there's a headline she reads that says Yale nurse found dead.
Did she kill a Yale nurse that she thought was sleeping with her husband?
And then they also have this moment where he's making the model trains and he tells his son, you can make up your own story and control everything. So Holland, Michigan, not the country of Holland that is now called the Netherlands,
No.
is where they are. And that could be a big fake town,
Like the village.
like the village, or like Don't Worry, Darling.
Oh, okay. Which I haven't seen.
And then she snaps.
I think she's going to snap.
She gonna lose
And
it.
she actually looks pretty good in it. I think it looks good. I'll definitely watch it when it comes out.
Her accent's interesting.
I don't know what people from Holland, Michigan sound like.
That's true, and I don't think Nicole Kidman did either. But she is a very good actress.
You
She had a
can't
very
say
busy
she's not.
2025, and she said
2024.
you said 2025 wasn't going to be as busy as 2024. She had 4 projects
Wow.
in 2025.
Zendaya's like, yeah, and?
Speaking of Zendaya and Holland,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
they are starring in Christopher Nolan's new movie, The Odyssey,
Yes.
based on the book
Yep.
of Grecian times.
Isn't everybody starring in it?
Well, do you know who's not? Michael Caine, which is different
Oh,
for
that's
Christopher Nolan.
disappointing.
Yeah,
But he wasn't in Oppenheimer
he's
either.
giving him a break.
But I don't know who would have played in Oppenheimer.
So this has brought up one thing that I want people to stop doing.
Okay.
And this is going to be my this episode rant.
Oh, no.
People have acting breadth. Okay?
Not everyone, but yes.
If you've only seen Tom Holland in Spider-Man,
Which would be a lot of people.
you might think he's not going to be able to play Odysseus in
Okay.
The Odyssey.
I see the lead.
But he's done other movies where
Yeah.
he's played serious drama and a thriller character very well. So before you go off on X and say, oh, worst casting ever, Christopher Nolan, you haven't started shooting yet. It's not too late to change your mind. This is going to be your worst movie ever. because you've cast Tom Holland, arguably one of the biggest names in Hollywood at the moment.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend, who is arguably as
Fiancé.
big, if not bigger name in Hollywood at the moment.
She's a bigger name than him, yes.
You reckon?
Yep.
Okay.
I think she's the biggest name in Hollywood at the moment.
Zendaya.
Yeah.
She's very good, but also like you can be like, oh, Zendaya. She just does that Disney Channel show. Why are you casting her? I'm like, no, there's more.
Watch Euphoria and get back to me.
Watch Euphoria, but also Greatest Showman, also Dune. Like she has some serious moments in Dune 1 and 2. Imagine if you were tuning in for the first time and you're like, what the fuck is Lee doing saying Dune like that?
Dune. Everybody's because I say June, like the month. Whatever.
Dune.
Luckily, that movie will be fucking over soon. And we'll never talk of it again.
Anyway, because I'm going to say I'm going to say something about a movie not being over in a sec. Tom Holland and Zendaya can act. Before you judge someone, make sure you have seen them in more than one thing.
Well, also, before you judge someone about why they were cast in something, watch them in that thing.
But also,
like you could have just been like, Ariana Grande in Wicked, she's just a singer.
Yeah.
No.
But also, before you judge Christopher Nolan for casting Tom Holland, you kind of have to acknowledge that Christopher Nolan's a fucking good movie maker.
But my thing
and
is...
also probably makes some good decisions for his movies that have been very good movies.
Why would you cast Zendaya in a Christopher Nolan movie? Women don't speak in his movies, so what's she going to do?
Stand there behind, hopefully a fair bit behind Tom Holland, so she's not taller
so they're
than
the
him.
same height, yeah.
I saw an interview where they were both on, what's his name's couch in the
Graham
UK.
Norton.
Graham Norton, thank you. And he was talking about there was one stunt when he first rescues her,
Yeah.
but she landed first every time they did it.
Yes.
Because she's so much taller than him. And he's like, I'm meant to be the superhero saving you. You cannot land first. Speaking of movies not finishing, like Dune, James Cameron has said this week
because he loves a long movie.
that Avatar 3 Fire and Ash,
Yeah.
which I haven't decided which indigenous community he's going to rip off in that one yet.
Like, well, yep.
Avatar
Us?
3 Fire and
As
Ash
in Australians, not me.
is going to be longer than Avatar 2 The Way of Water.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Which was, from
That was
memory,
like nearly 3.5 hours long.
3 hours 20 or something.
Yeah.
Was
I watched it recently. It was too long.
James, if you're listening, which you're not, put an intermission in.
Also, can we just acknowledge that they should be nominated for animated movies?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're very good-looking movies, and they're very well made, and they're great, but whatever. They don't need to be that long.
No. I
I get why the second one was maybe a bit longer, because they had to be like previously on Avatar and go like, this is what's happened in between us and the last one, so
Because
I can
it's
remember
been-
why he's still there.
because it's been 20 years
Yeah.
since it was made between movies, but this is a shorter gap, so we don't need that. But 3 hours 40 of a movie is too long.
Yep.
Either put in an intermission or make it into 2 movies. Like when they
The
got
movie
to...
can be that long. Just make sure it needs to be that long. Like,
Yeah, true. Don't make a 3.5 hour movie because you feel like you should make a 3.5 hour movie.
yeah, because then the longer, but the better. No, James.
I think he just wants to be in that world. He's also said during the week that he's applying for New Zealand citizenship so he can leave America.
What's he gonna? So is it the Maoris that he's firing and ashing?
probably.
Is it?
So I reckon he just wants to fucking escape.
Yep.
And so he's spending 3.5 years in Pandora and forcing us to then spend 4 hours there.
Because number 1 was Indigenous Americans.
Yes.
Number 2 was
Pacific Islanders.
Pacific Islanders.
So he's not doing the Maoris.
Is it going to be Indigenous Australians?
Fire and ash. We do have a lot of bushfires, but so do Californians.
I guess maybe they'll be like native Canadians.
Yeah, but James Cameron wants to move.
Yep.
Which, fair enough, move to where wetter is, because
A
all
lot
of
of
your movies
Americans
are
wanna
digital
move.
anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
torn on whether or not I'm looking forward to another Avatar movie.
I don't think I could sit in the cinema and watch it for that long.
I think there needs to be an intermission.
There probably will be.
If there is an intermission, I will pay to go and see it at IMAX.
Okay.
If there's not, I will wait till it comes out on Disney Plus 3 weeks after it finishes in the theaters.
Yep.
And watch it and be able to take a toilet break when I want.
And fall asleep and then come back later.
And then fall asleep, then watch it in 3 stages, like I
Yeah.
did another James Cameron movie, Titanic, when we reviewed it for Two Drink Cinema.
Mm.
You know what I think? We bagged Conan
O'Brien.
for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And we got a little bit of, not quite hate, a couple of questions
No.
in the TikTok comments.
Yeah.
And I remembered one thing that he did that I thought was funny, that his writers wrote, was the sketch about stream building.
It wasn't about Drake?
No.
Okay.
Was the sketch about a building dedicated to streaming movies.
Yep.
And I liked that sketch. But then I was thinking about it later, and I was like, surely we would hate going to that.
Yeah.
Because if people are going to that like they think it's streaming, it'll be like, remember we went to the cinema just after we came out for COVID, and people taking like 2 or 3 toilet breaks and talking nonstop and, just like forgetting what it's like to go to a cinema.
Yeah.
I don't think the stream building would work, Conan. I know it was a sketch. It's not an actual business
But
idea.
didn't somebody make a joke about that? In like towards the end of the sketch, I think it was like some guy rocked up in his pajamas or something. I can't remember. Or he got up late. He got there late and he's like, "Can we just rewind it to the start?" or something like that.
It was all that jokes. He was like, how do you press play?
They press play for you. Yeah.
Go back to your local theatre, people.
Yeah.
As we are going to this afternoon, go to an independent cinema and see a movie.
Yeah.
Well, I am at least. You've had a big weekend.
Lee,
Yes.
you know what started the weekend on Friday? The one just gone.
Mm.
This will date when this came out.
Well, it's coming out this Friday.
Great. Lady Gaga released her newest album.
Oh, the album that features Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, abracadabra.
Abracadabra.
She's going to reach out and grab it. Yep.
Yep.
It's okay.
Oh.
I think the best song on the album is Abracadabra, and I think that's
That would
always a
make
bit
sense.
disappointing when you've already heard the best song on an album.
Is The Joker Is Me on it?
No,
From Kath and
that
Kim?
was on another album.
Oh, okay.
It has it's very Lady Gaga.
Is Telephone Part 2 on it?
No.
Fancy teasing that. That's
know.
all I've heard about Gaga is
Rude.
Abracadabra is playing on every gay dance floor in the world.
Yeah.
And she keeps saying Telephone 2 is coming, but then not have Telephone 2 on this album.
Yeah.
Rude.
Um,
They don't even need to be in the same room, her
No,
and
they don't.
Beyonce.
They don't. They could be. It's good. None of the songs like stood out to me yet.
Okay. Is it a pop album?
It's a
Because she said
poppy
her
dance
fiance
and-
was like, go back to doing pop music.
It's very much around late 2010, late 2000, early 2010s, Bad Romance vibes.
Ah, rah,
Yeah. Roma Umama. And my
Is she
friend
gonna-
just messaged me
Yeah, is she
while
gonna
we
tour
were
it?
talking that she's coming in this general vicinity, but not yet us, Singapore. So she's getting
Okay,
closer.
so she's coming to the
So
Asia
she's coming
Pacific
closer than
region.
Beyonce is.
Well, then it's actually a world tour,
Yeah,
unless she's only touring Asia, and then it's an Asia tour.
which would not
No,
happen.
she would not be doing that.
No, she's doing US as well, but she's apparently coming. She says she's coming maybe to Australia. She
Singapore,
teased
just
it.
fly to Sydney.
It's like an 8-hour flight.
Yeah, and if
not
you've
that long.
already flown 17 hours from LA to Singapore, you may as well just add another 8 on at the end of that.
And you do
Should be
one
flying
show in
first
you do
class.
one show in Brisbane, one show in Perth, 4 in Sydney, 4 in Melbourne, and you make a shitload of money.
Yeah, and she's flying first class, so she can like sleep.
She's probably paying a private jet, Lee.
But that's not very environmentally conscious.
No, it's not. But
People don't like Taylor
what do you
for doing
reckon
it.
people are going to do to Lady Gaga when they're on the same flight? Could you imagine getting on a flight and you're sitting in the same row as Lady Gaga?
You wouldn't be. Her fiance would be sitting next to her, and then her road crew. They'd book out the whole first class cabin,
And then the magical curtain. Yeah.
and then the magical curtain.
But so yeah, if she comes here, definitely I will go.
That'll
Just
be
as
huge.
long as she doesn't go in the last week of May when I'm not in the country.
Oh yeah, imagine that. That'd be bad timing.
Mm.
She'd do the Marvel, I reckon. Not a Rod Laver.
Potentially, yeah.
I don't think Rod Laver would be big enough. She wouldn't do. The
I have
G, it's
seen
too
her at
big.
Rod Laver before.
Yeah.
It was very good.
But it's been a long time since she's been here. So that means she will be able to sell more tickets.
Yeah, like Katy Perry, her last album was a flop, and she sold out 3 shows in Melbourne
Yeah.
at Rod Laver Arena.
So people can hear I Kissed a Girl.
And she can go sing it,
And
we'll know the words this time.
And
Not
the
like
menu
that.
log ad.
Not like that viral thing where she said, "I know a place." Oh no, that's the other one. She started singing a song, and she goes, "Sing it" to the crowd, and the song hadn't been released yet,
Oh,
so nobody knew it.
that's awkward.
It's really funny.
One of the worst gigs I've ever been to was a woman with an acoustic guitar butchering I Kissed a Girl.
Great.
It still haunts me to this day. I still have the video recording of it. And sometimes I just send it to my friend who I went to the gig with. I'll be like, remember when we saw this? Like,
Yeah.
What a night.
All I just keep hearing in my head is Parker Posey. So that's what I
We were about to leave the gig.
Buddhism.
She was doing her originals, and we were about to leave the gig. And then she pulled out a saxophone. She's like, no, I'm going to play the saxophone. And we're like, well, this is going to be fucking terrible as well. Let's stay to hear her play the saxophone. So we stayed for another couple of songs. Then we're like, no, we'll go now. And then while my mate was in the bathroom before we went, she said, oh, now I'm just going to do one cover to finish off. I'm going to do a Katy Perry song. And he came out of the bathroom like, we can't go yet. She said she's just doing Katy Perry.
Oh, God.
So we stayed, and it was terrible. And I won't name her, but she was awful. And if my friend is listening, you know the gig that I'm referring to. That was
Great.
for my birthday one year.
Oh.
What a night. So we went to an
Late
open
December
mic night
back in
and
63.
saw considerably better singers at the open mic.
Well, yeah. Okay.
There's a bit coming out. There's a
Yeah,
few things
we'll have a
coming
busy
out
couple of months, I reckon.
in the not too distant future. A couple of good queer things, a couple of not so good queer things, and some kind of creepy shit with Nicole Kidman.
I think it looks pretty good.
I think that'll be the best of the bunch that we've talked about.
She does creepy well.
She does. She certainly has breadth. I haven't seen Stepford Wives.
No.
I should. I think that'll be good. What I definitely haven't seen is her in Bewitched.
No.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Rainbow Popcorn. Come and watch Rocky Horror with us at Pride of Our Footscray for Rainbow Popcorn Movie Club. And the link for that is in the episode description. We'll be back next week with a camp classic movie review. No, we'll be back next week with a queer movie review.
Quiz.
We are reviewing Kinky Boots next week.
Ah, yes.
So we'll be back with that next week.
Strap up your leather boots.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Thank you, Brett.
Thanks, Lee.